Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my Week 15 preview of CFL action. Check out my Week 14 review if you haven't already. That'll go into this past week's games. But without further ado, we're going to get right into this. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we're going to start with the first game of the week, which is Hamilton versus Toronto. All right, so I expect in this game Hamilton to get off to a hot start. I think Mazzoli's going to have a great game. I think that Ackland is going to have a breakout game. I think this is going to be his game. I think it's going to be the Ackland show. And I think the Hamilton defense is going to be too much for Bethel Thompson. We saw the Hamilton defense do pretty decent last week. I expect them to really crank it up this week. And I think Hamilton's going to have a huge win over Toronto this week. And I think just with Toronto having just such a struggle against the Redblacks, I think I think that's really going to hurt them in this game. But yeah, I mean, not a ton to say about this. I expect Hamilton to do everything right, and I expect Toronto to not learn from their game against Ottawa. That's frankly my prediction. You know, I'd love to hear yours. Make sure you put them in the comment section down below. I want to hear your guys' predictions. And anyways, we'll go into this next game, which is Calgary versus BC. All right, so Calgary did have an off week. They are all rested up. And I'm trying to think here. Do they play Mayer or Bo Levi Mitchell? Because I believe we saw Mayer come in late last game that we saw Calgary in. I don't think he played the entirety of the time. I have no idea who they'll start with. I think they'll probably start with Bo Levi Mitchell and move to Mayer if they have to. I think BC needs to use Brian Burnham more. I said it in the Week 14 review that I really think he was underutilized in this past game. And I think if they really want to have a strong chance against Calgary, they really got to split their duties between their two main receivers and others as well, just to really keep that defense guessing. But I think Riley's going to have a little bit of trouble with this Calgary defense. Now with that they're all rested up and they're all ready for this game, I think Calgary is going to be hungry. You know, obviously they're looking for that good playoff positioning. They're going to most likely facing the Roughriders in the first round. So I think Calgary is really going to be playing aggressive, getting prepared for that. So I think the Calgary Stampeders will get the win in this one. And I really have no idea what to expect from BC. They're such a wild card right now. I don't know. They're either, sometimes they play great and sometimes they're one of the worst teams we're watching in the CFL. So really not much to say about it. We'll see which BC Lions team we get. And anyways, I'll go into our next game, which is Winnipeg versus Montreal. All right, so bit of an interesting one. I kind of don't care if the Bombers win. Now, I know what that probably sounds. What? They're having this groundbreaking season and they've only lost one game and you don't care if they lose? Yes. And here's why. The Bombers have already secured their spot in the Western Conference Final. They have already went undefeated at home in front of their crowd for the first time since 1984. This Bomber team they have nothing to prove until playoffs. They don't. And honestly, if I'm Coach O'Shea, I pull out almost all my starters. Almost all of them. I want to see the second and third string guys lobbying the minutes. I want McGuire to start. I don't want Collaros to touch the field. Simply because you keep him healthy. There's no reason to risk him in a game like this. Play Oliveira, play Augustine, you know. Obviously you at least have to, but even have Augustine run a bit. Give him a little more time, you know. I don't think we need Kenny Lawler in. I don't know if we need Jefferson in, you know? I think this is a game that the Bombers should really be putting their second and third string guys in there, letting those guys get the minutes, letting the veterans stay out, making sure they're staying healthy. I expect Montreal to be pretty frustrated with things after them being so close this past game. I think Winnipeg will win this, though, because I do, as much as I want them not to play starters, I know they will for a bit. I think Winnipeg will win. However, I don't think they'll win by much, as I do think they will eventually pull up most of those starters out of the game for safety and to just to keep them healthy and whatnot. And anyways, we'll get into our last game of the week, which is Edmonton versus Saskatchewan. Alrighty, so Saskatchewan has got to keep it simple again. I think they will, and I expect Saskatchewan to run the ball quite a bit. I don't think they're really going to be doing anything too crazy when it comes to Fajardo's throwing arm. Save that for playoffs. However, the Edmonton Elks on the other side of the field have... Whoops, something happened there. They have this really weird dilemma. Do they play Cornelius or do they play Arbuckle? Last game, they decided to play Cornelius. I have no idea if Arbuckle has had enough time to get used to the playbook. I would certainly hope so, because it has happened. There has been time. If I were them, I'd give Arbuckle a shot, as long as he, of course, knows the playbook. See what happens. I think Edmonton is going to hope for an earlier start, because kind of like the Argonauts, they were very much too little too late this past week. So I think they're really going to try to hop on that a lot earlier. And yeah, I think Saskatchewan will win this game, though. I think it'll be not quite as close as the last one. I think they'll win by probably about a touchdown and a half-ish, somewhere in that range. Nothing too crazy, though. I think this is going to be pretty laid-back week of CFL football, if you want to be completely honest. And yeah, that's all pretty much I have for my Week 15 previews of CFL action. Make sure you check out my Week 14 reviews, as well as all the Bomber and Jet game reactions coming out. We do full in-depth things on all games. So yeah, make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time.